Hi, everybody. Natan Verhofsky here. Just wanted to come back with a Wednesday story and a drill, and this one's going to be a little unusual. I wanted to talk not so much about a story as a concept, and the concept is happiness. There is an expression that I heard that I love where it says that definition of happiness is progress, and that if you're progressing, you're always going to feel in a state of happiness. And I thought that was wonderful. Because as long as you're constantly challenging yourself and moving that bar just incrementally forward, you're going to feel proud of yourself. You're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to feel that feeling that's happiness. So, in order to have that happiness, in order to feel that, you need to progress. In order to progress, you need to challenge yourself. You need to overcome adversity. You need to have difficulty present in your life. You need to have that so that if there was no wind, that sailboat wouldn't be able to move against it. And you need to have that resistance. You need to have that pushback, which is why you need to overcome it. You need to rise to the occasion. You need to step up and be able to explore that progress. And the ability to jump in with both feet as hard as you can in whatever difficulty or hardship that you currently are having is the ability to come out that even with a minor micro change, you still had that change. And that change was for the better, and that is progress. And you can't help but feel happiness once you get into a state of progress. So instead of searching directly and trying to find that happiness in your life and go, boy, oh boy, I'm not happy and I don't know why, let's examine it. Is it my relationships, my money? Is it my emotions? What's going on, man? Is it my health? Why am I not happy? It's a very difficult way to go about answering that question. Instead, I would suggest to you, what have you done lately for progress? What have you progressed in? What's the last thing that you learned? What's the last thing that you can say, I was at here, and then I worked and it sucked and it was not fun or easy, but now I'm here. And if you haven't done something like that recently, my suggestion is you should. If you are curious whether you're extraordinarily happy right now, you should look no further than what was the last thing that you just learned. That progress will give you a joie de vivre, a certain sense of, oh my God, and an incredible love of life. That brings us to an interesting point. The gentleman that I was working with was a transformational coach and starting to help him, very successful, self-made entrepreneur, lots of time, lots of money, really living the life, happy, great family relationships, everything's awesome. And he can't understand why he's not happy. And I said, did you have progress in anything recently? He's like, no, I've got everything. I've plateaued. It's the opposite of progress. I'm stuck. I go, well, that's why you're not happy. You constantly need to be challenged. You constantly need to test yourself and your mettle. And you constantly need to know what you're worth. And you can't do that if you have questions, and you can't have those questions if you don't answer them. The only way to answer them is to test. Put yourself in that environment. Know what you're made out of, only because you know what you're made out of, only because you've been tested. And in those trial by fires is where you get formed. Metal that gets heated and constantly beaten until impurities get pushed out of it is called forged. And you will be forged in fire, but you will come out so much stronger. That ability to progress, no matter how little, no matter how hard, is your own personal ability to always, for the rest of your life, control your own personal level of happiness. It's internal. Your motivation's internal, your love, your happiness, it's all internal. You can't be a candle in the wind and a leaf in the wind and just be flickering because something external changed, something happened, and we're all at the influence of external events, obviously, right? The world, especially in the crazy time that we're in right now, nobody can just do whatever they want. But in that context, and in the imprisonment that you have, whether it's a mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, sexual, it doesn't matter what's limiting you, what sphere you feel is closing in on you. If you can give yourself a little bit of progress, you will feel happiness. And if you can give yourself a lot of progress, holy crap. So I'm a happy guy. I am not a happy guy just because I'm a happy guy. I work really hard. But I love what I do. And I love the people that I do it with. I love the people I do it for. I love the people I get to be around. That gives me some happiness. but it won't last. It's like motivation and washing your hair. It doesn't last. That's why we need daily dosages of it. Okay? So knowing that happiness will not last knows that even if everything is perfect today and I wake up tomorrow and it is exactly as perfect as it was today, there's no reason I shouldn't feel exactly as happy as I did yesterday. It's impossible. But there's one thing that you can put back in your court that'll put happiness back in your inner control, not dependent on the outside external circumstances, but internally dictated. And that is entirely in your control, and that is through progress. Anything that you can progress in, you will feel happiness from. Today, I'm over at my parents' place off in the country, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful, and it reminds me how lucky and how blessed we are, those of you that still have your parents with you and stuff, that it's an incredible blessing. And in some of the transformational therapy work that I do, in the book 30-Day Change for Life that we have, there's one of the personal mastery exercises, and that's the drill that I'd like to do today. It's a difficult one. It is in no way, shape, or form a centering drill or a mental scream drill or anything that you may have thought of as challenging before. This one's deep personal, it's therapeutic, it's incredibly intimate. As much as I love my parents and just worship the ground they walk on and thank them for everything that they've ever done for me, as an adult, as a father, as a husband, as a man who has his own life and his own family and his own views of the world, you better believe there's a couple things that I have that are differences of opinions. Now, world views and fundamental beliefs and values and good things, of course, they implanted it in me, and that's why I am the good person that I am today. I just know that the way that I've raised my child, the way that I've lived my life, the way that life comes around may be very different than what they went through. And in the most loving and respectful way, I'd like you to examine today's drill, coming from an incredible place of love. I'd like you to list 3 differences in values, opinions, or belief that you have with your parents, and how those have served you well. So if your parents were along this belief, and as much as they did everything else incredible to raise you, you now may not be along that same belief. And if that's the case, and if your new belief that you've put in, because nothing's a vacuum, got to take an old one out, you got to put a new one in, good, bad, or indifferent. So if you're putting in a new one, and it's working better for you, that view, that belief, that value, compared to what you were instilled with, I'd like you to pick 3 of those differences of opinion, belief, and values that you have very lovingly with your parents, and write them down. You can privately DM me if you'd like me to take a look at them. You can reach out to me directly through Messenger. You don't have to be brave and leave a comment if you like. If you like, you can subscribe, you can share, you can do all those wonderful things, and we, of course, appreciate it. But I'm here to see if there's anything that I can do to help you. Let me know. Thank you so much. I'm Natan Verhofsky. Talk soon.